chain. Let me back, I gave me until I was going on out Miami. They all cornballs, they can't stand me. I hear, get a plan. Osco, that my whoa. No Lolo, got strain on yo-yo. She post up a MCM and we like that JoJo. When we out and we see him, he always ask for photo. I say, Lord, be my savior when it come to getting this paper. Please protect me from my haters. Just say me and I won't save her. Say amen. Yeah. That boys and they can't win. Check. Going up. We in it, we gonna. Going up. Did it like my persona. Going up. Remember them was honest. We used to drive them Hondas. Then we pull up in the Fondas. Glow up. Walking. Show up. Baby, hold up. Glow up. Boy, don't touch. We glow up. She lucky. Cause she 5 mil cash in Kentucky. Know me. I walk up in demons, spend 10K just like it's nothing. I hang with the demons, they don't play by me, we cut. I was coolin' out Atlanta, mixed with the Fanta. All them, I got Santa, I go monkey.
The Bills are now on the clock.
Gonna do just what I say. Pull up, pass the Uber in that right. She so bad, but she said. I feel guilty, I might as well just plead my case. I say, Lord, be my savior when it come to getting this paper. Please protect me from my haters. Just say me and I won't save her. Say amen. Yeah. That boys and they can't win.
Bills just made their pick. Adam, what can you tell us about him?
He had a reputation in college for being a very physical player. He relied more on his size and strength than technique to overpower defenders. A lot of scouts were ready to declare him just another mauler until the combine, where he moved quickly in the kick slide drill, showing good knee bend and maintaining balance through each step. Matt Miller told me he still saw some things that needed work, but with good enough coaching, he can improve even further. He just got picked up, and I think he has the chance to be a reliable blocker in the future for this team.
The Lions are now on the clock. The Lions went with Cole here. We're going to Adam for more.
When I ask scouts around the league what his biggest asset is, they always point to his father. His dad is a high school coach that knows how to consistently finish in the top of the school's division. And ever since he was able to walk, he's been on the sidelines for every game. Even after he leaves practice at night, he's still getting advice from his dad at home. And from what I've heard from scouts who've watched him play, you can tell the extra coaching has helped. Even during interviews at the Combine, I was told by several GMs that he was one of their favorite players to talk to. He has his dad's eye for the game, and I wouldn't be surprised to see him become a coach one day himself. I like him a lot, and he'll be a great addition to the team.
Feel the flame, hold on, I can make it rain. Oh, do you hear the thunder? Don't let it bring you down. Look up and see the light. You're not alone, don't give up like that. Oh yeah, got a ways to go. Break that wall, let the spirit flow. I know you ain't done yet. Don't stop to catch your breath. You're going higher, 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 higher. Let go, set me free. Got the streets all I need. Going higher, 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 higher. Keep running, keep running, keep running.
The 49ers are now on the clock. The Rams are now on the clock. This Jenkins guy, Adam, what do you know?
His pro day was a magnification of his bigger problem areas. He didn't suffer any drops during the passing drills, but he had several passes that were hauled in very awkwardly. He bobbled a few of them several times before he was able to completely secure the ball. With how tight defenders cover receivers in the NFL, he'll need to catch the ball and bring it to his body before the hit or strip. The receivers coach will need to work with him on catching balls away from his body with confidence.
Black and yellow with the boots and the go suit. We had a go-go last week. We don't really care who got last week. Riding under me, the blog and really bumping me. Cause I'm bad. You don't want no problems with a GD, CPG. I'm the king of the streets. I never had to struggle when it to a beef. Always 10 toes, so it's hard to defeat. And trust me, I've been looking hard for
the Titans are now on the clock. The Panthers have just picked up Garner. Adam, garner us some information.
Matt Miller told me to look at a certain stat in regards to this defensive back, and that's average number of targets in a game. Not surprisingly, you see that number start to fall each week. He was a master of the bait and switch early in the year, on track to break records midway through the season. Eventually, quarterbacks gave up altogether trying to throw the ball in his direction, essentially taking away a receiver on every play. There's going to be an adjustment period now that he's in the NFL, but he certainly has the potential to be a shutdown defender for this team in the future.
Anybody ever ask what happened with the bleach? Running from they almost had me when I slipped. Way back at home I started around the same time.
Bengals have just told Hall to come on down. Let's hear more about him from Adam.
The importance of a lockdown pass defender cannot be emphasized enough, and that's exactly what every GM I talked to described him as. His ability to play physical and to outwork his opposition off the line have also been areas of high praise on his journey to the draft. This skill set could be seen in numerous games this year where he completely shut down some of this draft's top-rated wide receivers. When you're tasked with neutralizing an opponent's number one wideout each week, there's a great deal of responsibility to ensure you're not just physically ready, but also mentally ready. This is another important trait the GMs I spoke with mentioned to me that made them so excited about this guy. The hope is that he will quickly learn the playbook, get some solid reps in the preseason, and come week one, be ready to play.
Like the way it sounds, Frody?
Adam, what can you tell us about that last pick?
A veritable interception machine, he holds his college's single-game record for interceptions in a game, snagging 3. Scouts pointed to an almost sixth sense when the ball was in the air, and Matt Miller had him ranked as the top defensive back in the draft in his final mock. True lockdown defensive backs are few and far between, and this is a pick that should solidify this team's pass defense for years to come. It'll be very interesting to see if opposing offenses go right after him, and how if he shows any rust after being avoided for much of his final year in college.
On the beach, 100 Latins in your lobby. That's what happens when you're around with body. And I put that my mommy.
The Giants are now on the clock.
Just make a dance that goes with this song. Then I'ma be on. Basic gonna dance to
The Broncos are now on the clock.
We're gonna dance to it. Just let me breathe for a minute. Just let me breathe for a minute. Just let me breathe for a minute. White Range Rover, in it. Let me breathe for a minute. Just let me breathe for a minute.
The Jets are now on the clock.
Breathe for a minute. White Range Rover, ball in it. You gotta, baby, shake that, shake that, shake that. You gotta, baby, shake that, shake that, shake that. I got 2
shows, I'm about to pitch another.
The Cowboys are now on the clock.
We all shine, nobody victims. I'm on these sweatsuits, black Pippins. I swag different. That's why the money in the bag different. Come up short, you'll have your fam. I lay on beaches.
The Vikings are now on the clock.
You just an urban myth. Every day, get ride around Queens on the jet ski. It's me.
The Falcons are now on the clock.
To the day I die, every day, man, I that. And I that. Bouncing up and down. Nearly broke. Just let me breathe for a minute. Just let me breathe for a minute. Just let me breathe for a minute. White Range Rover, in it. Let me breathe for a minute. Just let me breathe for a minute, man. Just let me breathe for a minute. White Range Rover, in it.
Pick's been made. Let's go to Adam Schefter to hear more about the player.
He's always been known as a smart runner, and if you just look at what he did at the All-Star game, you'd see why he gets that recognition. Every time he was handed the ball, there was no indecisiveness as he attacked the gap and didn't waste time reading the blocks. And when the line failed to open up anything, he still found ways to get a few yards. As Matt Miller put it, he may not be the strongest or fastest, but his vision more than makes up for any deficiency. He could very well become an every down back, which is exactly what this team could use.
Do the digital dash. Yeah, I'm boasting, never brag. Please don't touch my rag. Or the Chris Finn Nash. Alessandra Gucci glasses. The W Anderson collab. Yeah, you probably like it. Yeah, you drop it on the. I'ma buy another. Cut the boys, bring it back. Yeah, you know how to make it last. Plus and keeping tabs. I'ma fly first class. Quavo hit him with it. Please don't touch my rap.
Don't step on my Ralph Simmons. Don't step on my Ralph Simmons. Don't step on my Ralph Simmons. Do you know how much I'm spending? My closet, it worth about $1 million. To the little out the runway. In the kitchen. Ralph Simmons. All kind of crazy colors. Living color. Left wrist. Roll it. Ice. Make some Margiela my sweater. Mama told me never settle. Ralph Simmons, don't lace them. Got your wanna.
Huh? Wait, don't wanna talk about the paper. I swear to God, these be haters. They be hating, I feel out of. Live in cul-de-sac, don't get along. Ooh, right with my neighbors. Diamonds on my neck and roll it on. Now I later got underbit flavors. I'm with my lifesaver. Ooh, feel like Darth Vader. I'm a boss, you know I might riff it. Ooh, right in my basement. Yeah. But you know that I'm gonna face it. Wait, that's the reason that they...
All right, let's go to Adam Schefter, who's got more on this pick.
Long talked about as a top 3 defensive back prospect, his draft stock fell dramatically after a series of consecutive struggles late in the season against inferior wide receivers. Many speculated that these struggles were due to a series of nagging injuries, a theory which may have been validated by his strong performance at his pro day. I was able to talk with several GMs about him at the Combine, and they told me he possesses the raw physical skills needed to become a top-tier NFL defensive back. 3 skills in particular were mentioned by every GM I spoke to: exceptional physicality at the line of scrimmage, a nose for the ball, and better hands than most receivers they've seen and scouted. The reason for his collegiate struggles may forever be shrouded in mystery, but they'll soon be forgotten if he's able to realize his full football potential.
I cover my face and I'm spring summer 2002.
Yeah. Rams have just made their pick. Adam, what can you tell us about him?
His final season in school came to an end early when he was dismissed from the team after missing several practices. I wasn't able to find out why he couldn't attend the practices, but I do know that after his 3rd absence, the coach finally decided to bench him. He was on his way to having a decent year, but without him participating in practice, the coaches thought he would be a liability in the game plan going forward. After apologizing to his former teammates, I can see why this team is taking a chance on him. He seems recommitted. We'll see if that's true come training camp.
49ers are now on the clock. The Rams are now on the clock. The Saints are now on the clock. The Titans are now on the clock. The Bengals are now on the clock.
People trying to say I'm only enemy. Got a code with my dogs, can't get in between. I can give them life, no more energy. Man, amen. Spent about 60 on the time, I can't even lie. No way in, no way out, do or die. So on roll, when I roll, must be. Amen, man. I can't ride Benz, I don't do peace. I beast, I gotta eat. Saber tooth, tiger, diamond tooth teeth. Rockin' right now, won't you come peep? I was outside. The way that shake, leave your mouth wide. You need to say grace for you say thanks. Amen, amen. What's left in my life, don't know what's in store. I've been dealing with these blessings that I can't ignore. Putting up the numbers, we ain't keeping score. Amen, amen. I here on the block, my side. Run it in the house for it's 12 o'clock. Yeah, the hood love me, but you gotta watch. Amen, amen. I just three, I don't do sleep. Yeah, tryna see, movie. Yeah, we gon' fall through, coming through deep. Amen.
The Chiefs are now on the clock. Our very own Adam Schefter has more to say about this pick.
He's a Heisman-winning defender. Let me say that one more time. He won the Heisman, and he's a defensive player. Need I say more? You can imagine how well he played this season to win the biggest award in college over several offensive playmakers. The trophy was well-deserved, and according to Matt Miller, he projects really well as a defender in the NFL. I think this is a home run pick, and it's great to see a defender get some well-deserved recognition.
I cannot let it get into me. This playing a toll on me meant to me.
The Colts are now on the clock. The Colts pick is in. Adam, give us the rundown.
It's unfortunate to see a player recovering from an injury only to have it happen again, especially in an exhibition game. It was one of the rare times I've seen a brutal injury at the annual All-Star game between future NFL players. He took a hit that tore his ACL a second time in less than a year. That kind of injury history might scare away most teams, but it didn't scare away this team from drafting him. I've been told by his agent he's still recovering from the surgery and should be ready to play for training camp.
LOV on my right leg, that's Gucci. Dig what I'm saying. LOV on my man, that's Poochie. Dig what I'm saying. Caught a little jet lag, but I'm gone. more than that. We deserve Grammys and some Oscars. They deserve Whammies, they imposters. I be rolling with my project homies, it's a vibe. I just put the homie, it's a vibe. Over switch sides, it's a vibe. Yeah. I gon' do it. I gotta accept that I'm a. I pull up in several different options. That I will most ever. I shatter your dreams with this cream I make. Gotta be on the thinker. I say. What? I can't feel my toes, but ain't gon' fold up. I was in the double law when I rolled.
I've been rolling on the freeway. I've been riding 85. I've been thinking way too much, and I'm way too gonna drive. I got anger in my chest. I got millions on my mind, and you didn't fit the picture, so I guess you want the vibe. I've been rolling on the freeway. I've been riding 85. I've been thinking way too much, and I'm way too gonna drive. I got anger in my chest. I got millions on my mind, and you didn't fit the picture, so I guess you want the vibe.
Dig what I'm saying, Chanel Drake's on me daily. Dig what I'm saying, sponsored by Mercedes.
The Giants are now on the clock.
Dig what I'm saying, I'm going hard, yeah. I pop in your memory. You should be glad I'm showing you sympathy. I gave you real love.
The Dolphins are now on the clock.
Never let you go, you gon' suffer from it. I gon' do it. I gotta accept that I'm a. I pull up in several different options. That I will most ever.
The Chargers are now on the clock.
Gotta be on the thinker. I say. What? I can't feel my toes, but ain't gon' fold up. I was in the double law when I rolled. Yeah.
The Cowboys are now on the clock.
I feel like I should be giving up. You can't leave it's too much, but I'm tired of.
The Vikings are now on the clock.
Vikings just made their pick. Adam, what can you tell us about him?
He got the attention of scouts pretty quickly when he had a game-winning catch that most receivers would have trouble bringing in. With one outstretched hand, he caught a pass that looked like it was about to sail out of the back of the end zone. He proved that even the big guys can make some incredible plays with their hands. And in a league where receiving tight ends are becoming a premium, it's no wonder this team took him here.
Know your place, yeah, know your place, yeah. I got like right now, I'm impatient. I got women on the cell trying to give me. I still wish it would, I still wish I'm well, yeah. Put my problems in them. Only check up when the checks come. My pockets looking blessed up.
The Bengals are now on the clock.
They talking like they jealous of me.
The Bills are now on the clock.
They talking like they next door. I still treat them like so. Showers on the way. I've been working 25.
The Colts are now on the clock.
Pull up with the bands, have them dancing in the rain. Pull up with the bands, have them dancing in the rain. Yo. Know your place, yeah, know your place, yeah. I got look like right now, I'm impatient. I got women on the cell trying to give me. I still wish it would, I still wish I'm well, yeah. Know your place, yeah, know your place, yeah. I got look like right now, I'm impatient.
The Texans are now on the clock.
I still wish it would, I still wish I'm well, yeah. Promises and wishes, candles for my exes now. Ain't no fingers left to count my blessing now. Promises and wishes, trust me, it's been different now. No rings for the things I go missing now. Promises and wishes, why would I ever start celebrating? Why would I ever start celebrating? I'm naming all the hearts I've been breaking. I'm naming all the hearts I've been breaking. The showers on the way. I've been working 25 hours every day. Pull up with the bands, have them dancing in the rain. Pull up with the bands, have them dancing in the rain. Yo. Know your place, yeah, know your place, yeah. I got like right now, I'm impatient. I got women on the cell trying to give me. I still wish it would, I still wish them well, yeah. Know your place, yeah, know your place, yeah. I got like right now, I'm impatient. I got women on the cell trying to give me. I still wish it would, I still wish them well, yeah.
All right, now that the pick's in, let's go to Adam. Adam, what can you tell us about this guy?
The two most important qualities any defensive back should have are fluid hips and the ability to attack the ball in midair. Unfortunately, he didn't flash either of those at the combine. He turned in one of the slowest performances in the back pedal and turn drills, while his slow reaction time and change of direction speed caused him to miss on several passes. From Matt Miller's perspective, he looked completely lost during the drill, searching for the ball each time he turned around. The coaches are going to have a lot of work to do with him, but hopefully we'll see some improvement in the preseason.
It's okay, it's okay, it's okay. It's okay, it's okay, it's okay. I heard he's mad at me cause I'm shining. They ain't seen it when I'm young, out here grinding. It's okay, it's okay, it's okay, yeah. Either way, young, getting paid, yeah. I heard he's mad at me cause I'm popping. They don't want with some money.
The Titans are now on the clock.
It's okay, yeah. Either way, a hater.
The Bengals are now on the clock.
Mad at me cause I'm trying to feed my I'm supposed to make it out and I don't bring my No way, no way, no way, yeah. They ones and they here to stay, yeah. I heard he's always hating, said I never make it. I heard
The Steelers are now on the clock.
It's okay, it's okay, it's okay. It's okay, it's okay, it's okay. I heard he's mad at me cause I'm getting money. I heard he's mad at me cause he's on me. It's okay, it's okay, it's okay. It's okay, it's okay, it's okay.
I heard he tryna lie me, but I ain't no dummy. It's okay though, got it, you really want it. I spent 13 on the ring and now I feel unlucky. Hey, she love my diamond ring, she said she wanna touch it. It's okay, I get 30K just to hit the stage. Hit my
The Colts are now on the clock.
I get cake, I cannot complain. Been finessing since I was a kid. In the second grade, selling lemonade. Get paid, hold up, wait. Can I get paid? Yawn,
Now that he's been picked, Adam, tell us more about Newman.
He was always a physical player, and all the tests confirmed it, but what scouts saw at the All-Star game was poor technique. It looked to me like he was playing a little too aggressive, and it worked against him. I spoke with one coach who seemed to like him, but also said he needed to be taught how to tackle properly. He had a lot of success on physical play alone in college, but that won't work anymore in the NFL.
It's okay, it's okay, it's okay. It's okay, it's okay, it's okay.
The Giants are now on the clock.
Why I gotta watch a friend more than an enemy? I had to stun on a dad, I'm supposed to stun.
The Dolphins are now on the clock.
You was on some dun. You was supposed to be my dog, why you hate on me? They say success, turn your friends to some enemies. That is crazy. Cause it's shining, now you act shit.
The Rams are now on the clock.
But I guess it's okay. My mama told me you would show me your ways.
The Cowboys are now on the clock.
I had the bands. Pull up in the land. Diamonds on me look like he's always hating, said I never make it.
The Jaguars are now on the clock.
It's okay, it's okay, it's okay. It's okay, it's okay, it's okay. I heard he's mad at me cause I'm getting money.
The Falcons are now on the clock.
It's okay, it's okay, it's okay. It's okay, it's okay, it's okay.
I come here today to talk about how I feel. And I feel like that we are treated differently than other people. And I don't like how we're treated. And just because of us doesn't mean anything to me.
just the way I feel. Mine's been racing so long.
The Rams are now on the clock.
It's just no way to deal with these problems alone. And I really can't take it no more. I've been fighting temptation.
The Bills are now on the clock.
And I really can't help it.
The Broncos are now on the clock.
Oh, I've been living so reckless, I know. Tell me, Logie, you help me. I said, Logie, you help me. Now everybody got problems, yeah, but waiting no one way to solve them. I really came up from the bottom, struggling my mama on the last dollar. Hustling, man, I've been putting in these hours. The government been trying to take away with sours. Really all about the money.
The Texans are now on the clock.
See my people in power. Tell me how we gonna shape this vision. Complaining all day, but in the same condition. If you wanna make change, it's gonna take commitment. Some people enslaved by their religion can't emancipate the fundamental principles. What I see through optics transform the wisdom. Watch me use my prophets, get them on the list, and I've been on it.
The Lions are now on the clock. The Bears are now on the clock. The Chargers are now on the clock.
I've been living so reckless, I know. Tell me, Logie, you help me. I said, Logie, you help me. Now everybody got fights, yeah, but wouldn't know what good advice was. Till they leave him lifeless. Another mama crying, it's another crisis. Lord knows we just trying to live righteous. Are you willing just to make the sacrifices? I know we can't continue living like this, and I never sell my soul cause that's priceless. Tell me how we gonna make a living. Hustle on the block, who go?
The Redskins are now on the clock.
And I'm just revealing the media just trying to make a villain. I just take the pain and paint a picture. Voices in my head, I hear the whispers when I feel this way. And I really can't take it no more. I've been fighting temptations, my Lord. I'm young and I'm restless, and I really can't help it. I never felt selfish before. I've been living so reckless, I know. Tell me, Logie, you help me. I said, Logie, you help me.
The Saints are now on the clock.
So long, it's just the way to deal with these problems alone. And I really can't take it no more. I've been fighting temptations, my Lord. I'm living on restless. I said, Logie, help me. I've never felt selfish before. I've been living so reckless, I know. To me, Logie, you help me, girl. I said, Logie, help me.
The Packers are now on the clock. The Bengals are now on the clock.
I said, Logie, help me. I said, Logie, help me.
The Steelers are now on the clock. The Colts are now on the clock.
I'm a running man, sandals slipping off my feet on the sand, counting up the bills with my dominant hand. Yo, choose up, take this, appreciate it. This too, if I tear up the rim shot.
The Seahawks are now on the clock.
I'm going global, coast to coast like my G.I. Joe present. I've yet to see a Cobra. So off my rocker got me sipping club soda. Some bombs never go off, some stars never blow up. I'm pitching in, never in the dugout. Reaching in my and I can't take a head count. Flashback, 03, things was looking run down. Now I set foot in the place, it's a luau. Killing like 10 counts. Y'all know how we get down. House with the fence around. Y'all know that we en route. Transition from the
Giants are now on the clock.
Charge admission for that to get the dessert. Left the doors up, now the Lambo has pigtails. Since you getting comfy, I'ma let you sit there. I'ma let you stay there. When I shed a tear, they didn't have no care. So I'ma charge retail. I brought some cause you say you want.
The Dolphins are now on the clock.
In the room, you best get well. Every dog has its day. What the no tuck? Sway Lee, Winter Magazine, double XL. Floss with your Gucci on. Dipped in colors, burst on the cars and the jewels. I'm a wanted man. Seats looking like they got a spray tan. When I was without,
The Jets are now on the clock.
said throw it back and make me drop the cans. I told Ben Frank just to drop a pin. I could let my fit go to the highest bid. Yes, I might drop in. It all depends. Junior high, I was dreaming of a 10. I'm coming clean though. I mean, not a spec. My girl be serving.
The Cowboys are now on the clock.
Katana sword popping out my walking cane. I'm overseas, my Cali Bay like.
The Jaguars are now on the clock.
Getting to the money and you having issues. I bought a and it came with a wetsuit. The Buddha left me without breath. I really am a mess. I'm mooching off myself. She be hoping that I take a knee. Yes, I be open to that shrimp life. This is how we live. This is how we exist. Love the kicks and we love the hits. All in the house and I'm wrecking. If I sleep, I'm on.
The Falcons are now on the clock.
Money up and make my own weather. Mommy playing tether on leather. Money talk, it's a lecture. 80 pointers dance on me, it's electric. Don't hate, I'm still unaffected. Chipper on my shoulder, I move undetected. She said pop the question got deflected. Man, them ain't my boys, them my brethren. Let's cut to the chase. It's only on the house when we in the place. My used to lava boys got it up in some flames. Stirring up the cup with my wrist souffle.
The Rams are now on the clock.
My name engraved. I told you on swing, don't say my name.
The Bills are now on the clock.
Like, you rang? Spending all the money, then we watch it boomerang. With the Fendi.
All right, team is now off the clock. Adam Schefter, can you tell us about their newest player?
Matt Miller was glued to the ongoing soap opera that was his.
I've been going crazy just to stay sane. Hey, your girl went missing, who's to blame? Young whippersnapper with the rain.